A client pays $200 for a polished first draft on Monday. By Friday, the draft looks just as polished. It arrives in 10 minutes. And the client offers 20. The worker did not disappear. The job title did not disappear. Something quieter happened first. The market stopped paying for the old scarcity. That is how AI will reach many careers. Not as one dramatic replacement, but as thousands of price tags moving inside a job. To predict which ones move first, we need to stop asking which occupation looks easiest and ask what makes a task expensive. A job title is a box drawn around very different activities. A lawyer researches, drafts, negotiates, explains risk, and signs their name beneath consequences. A designer explores ideas, makes variations, understands a brand, persuades a client, and prepares files. A software developer writes code, but also discovers what the code should do, fits it into a messy system, and answers when it breaks. AI does not meet the box. It meets the tasks inside it. That distinction matters because exposure is already broad. The International Labor Organization's 2025 index estimated that 1 in 4 jobs worldwide sits in an occupation with some potential exposure to generative AI. But its central conclusion was transformation, not wholesale replacement. Clerical work remained the most exposed. At the same time, exposure expanded into highly digitized professional work in media, software, and finance. So the useful question is not, is my job safe? It is, which part of my job is about to become abundant? Imagine every paid task passing through 4 gates. Gate 1. Can the input and output travel entirely through a screen? If the raw material is text, images, code, audio, or structured data, AI can enter the workflow without waiting for a robot body. That is why digital knowledge work feels the pressure before plumbing, bedside care, or repairing a power line. Gate 2. Can the buyer verify the result cheaply? A transcript can be checked against audio. A translation can be sampled by a fluent reader. Boilerplate code can run through tests. 100 product descriptions can be scanned for format and tone. But deciding whether a legal strategy protects a company 5 years from now is not a quick check. Neither is knowing whether a patient trusts the treatment plan. Gate 3. How much hidden context does the task require? AI performs best when the relevant world fits inside the prompt, the files, or the database. It struggles when the real task depends on years of unwritten history, office politics, customer trust, or knowing which urgent request is not actually urgent. Gate 4. Who carries the cost of being wrong? If a mistake is cheap and reversible, buyers can tolerate more automation. If a mistake can trigger a lawsuit, injure someone, destroy a relationship, or sink a project, human review and accountability remain scarce. Digital, verifiable, context light, low liability. The more gates a task passes, the sooner its old price is vulnerable. Now the first wave becomes easier to see. Start with commodity content, generic marketing copy, routine translation, transcription, basic summaries, simple visual variations, first draft production work. These tasks are not worthless. They are becoming abundant. When a decent first draft once required 2 hours and now requires 10 minutes, supply expands. More people can offer it. Buyers expect more versions, shorter deadlines, and lower prices. The clearest recent example comes from one marketplace, not the whole economy. Upwork reported in July 2026 that contracts in generative AI and creative production grew sharply, while earnings per contract fell 13%. In the same data, more complex AI-assisted work earned substantially more. That is not AI kills creative work. It is a split inside creative work. Execution becomes cheaper. Judgment becomes the product. The same logic reaches clerical and administrative processing, data entry, standard correspondence, scheduling, document formatting, routine bookkeeping support, predictable customer replies. These tasks are digital, structured, and usually easy to sample. Then it reaches junior digital production, boilerplate code, standard research summaries, first pass analysis, predictable support work. Notice the pattern. AI attacks the clean handoff. Here is the input. Produce this known format. I can check it quickly. That sentence is a pricing alarm. This creates a difficult problem for beginners. Many entry-level jobs are built from tasks that are easy to specify and easy to review. Draft this memo. Clean this spreadsheet. Write the first version. Fix the obvious bug. Answer the standard question. Those tasks do more than produce output. They train people. You learn judgment by making small decisions, receiving corrections, and slowly being trusted with larger ones. If AI absorbs the bottom rungs, companies may get cheaper output today while weakening the ladder that creates experts tomorrow. Recent United States payroll research found a relative employment decline among workers aged 22 to 25 in highly AI-exposed occupations, while more experienced workers in the same occupations were more stable. A June 2026 update found that the divergence was stronger where AI use leaned toward automation rather than collaboration. That is early evidence, not a universal law. Another major study using Danish administrative data found no detectable average effect on earnings or hours larger than 2% after 2 years, even though tasks inside jobs were changing. The surface can look calm while the work underneath is being rearranged. When one part of a workflow becomes abundant, the bottleneck moves. If drafts are cheap, choosing the right problem matters more. If code is cheap, understanding the old system, testing edge cases, and owning the failure matter more. If images are cheap, taste, brand consistency, and knowing what will persuade a specific audience matter more. If analysis is cheap, access to trustworthy data and the courage to make a decision matter more. This is why Learn AI is incomplete advice. Tool access spreads quickly. The durable advantage is combining the tool with something the market cannot copy in one click. Domain judgment, proprietary context, verification, relationships, integration, accountability. The latest platform data shows this split directly. Lower complexity AI execution faced price pressure, while complex AI-augmented work and professional services gained earnings. The valuable person is not simply the one who can make the machine produce more. It is the one who can decide what counts as good, connect the output to a real system, and take responsibility for the outcome. Take your own job and list 10 tasks. Do not write marketing manager or accountant. Write the verbs: draft, compare, reconcile, explain, negotiate, approve, visit, diagnose, sign. Now run each verb through the 4 gates. Is it fully digital? Can a buyer verify it in minutes? Does the necessary context fit into files and instructions? Is the cost of failure low or easily reversed? Tasks with 4 yes need a plan now. Use AI to compress them before someone else uses AI to compress your price. Then move your time toward the tasks with 1 or 2 no's. But do not hide behind vague human skills. Make the scarcity specific. Which customer trusts you? Which system do you understand? Which decision can you defend? Which failure are you qualified to catch? Which people can you align? Those answers are your new job description. Return to that $200 draft. The words did not become useless. Producing acceptable words became less scarce. The price moved to the person who knew which words were true, which promise the company could keep, which risk the client had missed, and whether the draft should exist at all. AI will not reprice every career at once. It will reprice the cleanest, easiest to check pieces first. Then it will expose what the customer was really paying for. Markets have never paid for effort alone. They pay for scarce, trusted outcomes. And when production becomes abundant, trust becomes visible.